Hello there, Sarah from Online Social Butterfly here, and today I wanted to pop in and have a quick chat to you about the Instagram algorithm. Now, this is something that I think is the bane of many people's existence, and quite often we think that these algorithms are here to torment us. So I wanted to come in and chat to you about why it exists and what it does and how we can work it in our favor. So first of all, Instagram, as you should know, is owned by Meta, which is the parent company which was renamed, was previously called Facebook. Now, Meta as a company has been using the algorithm for many years. Now, as platforms, most people think that social media's purpose is to allow us to connect with other people. But let me talk to you about what the the KPI or the key driver for a company like Meta is. Now, this company is driven by making money from ads, okay? 98.5% of Meta's revenue comes from running ads on their platforms. So this means that their most important activity is delivering ads that are successful so that people continue to run those ads and so they make more money. It's really, really simple. So what does this have to do with the algorithm? It's really, really simple. The algorithm is designed to keep you on the platform for as long as possible, as often as possible, because the longer that you're on the platform, the more ads that can be delivered to you. So what does the algorithm do on Instagram? When we log into Instagram, the first thing we are taken with is our news feed or our feed. And this will show us the highlights from what we've missed from recently. Now, what the algorithm's job is to make that content really interesting so that we engage with it, that we keep scrolling and that we stay on there longer. So we are working hard, and they're doing a great job of this because most of us are very addicted to social media. So here's the thing, the algorithm is trying to curate content that it thinks that you're interested in, okay? It is not there to kind of, disadvantage you as a business owner or anything like that. It is trying to find content that is interesting to deliver it to users. They stay on the platform for as long as possible, as often as possible. So how do we get this to work for us? The algorithm is based on, it's obviously a mathematical equation based on hundreds of thousands of individual variables. And so the algorithm, I as a user, like on my profile, I can work that algorithm to my advantage. So I get to decide what content that I see. So when I'm scrolling my news feed, what the algorithm is looking for is passive and active signals. So passive signals are when I'm scrolling. So I've got my phone and I'm scrolling. And when I slow my scroll, which at this stage, I could be looking at my phone, or I could have looked away and I could be talking to one of my children, or like I'm not even actually looking at my newsfeed. When I slow my scroll, I'm telling the algorithm I consider that piece of content to be moderately interesting, okay? It's a passive signal. So passive signals are based on my behavior, not on my active actions, which are active signals. So the passive signals are things like when I slow my scroll, it also knows how often I log in. So do I log in 3 times a day? When I log in, how much time do I spend on there? Is it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Now, these passive signals allow the algorithm to determine how much content it wants to show me. So the algorithm knows that I probably log into Instagram 3 to 5 times a day, and each time I log in for about 5 minutes. So it knows it has that much time to capture my attention, and it's probably trying to keep me on there a wee bit longer each time. So if you only log in once a day, it also knows that behavior, and it wants to keep you on there as long as possible and try and get you to come back more regularly. So it wants you to enjoy your experience while you're scrolling, okay? That's what it's really, really focused on. So let's talk about active signals, because those are what our content needs to ensure that we show up in the newsfeed of our followers, okay? So active signals are where someone takes this little magic thing here, your finger, and does something to your post. So this means if I stop my post, one of my favorite active signals is using a carousel. So a carousel means you have multiple images on a single post, because with a carousel, I have to scroll right to left to look at all your images. So it's an active signal to the algorithm that I think that content was interesting enough for me to scroll through it, okay? The other thing that it's looking for is, have I double tapped it to like it? Did I write a comment? Did I share it to my stories, or did I share it to my messenger? Or did I save it for later? So all of those involve, as I said, your magic pointer finger and your actions on a post. So what we are trying to do is tell the algorithm that our content is interesting. So we can't do much about that, but we want to try and get our audience to engage with our content with active signals. So the easiest way to do that is to put those what we call micro commitments or calls to action on our post. So this means you say things like, if you found this post useful, save it for later. If you found this post useful, tag a friend. If you found this post useful, share it to another friend in their DMs. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate our audience to take action on our content, and therefore telling or signaling the algorithm that our content is really interesting. So remember, we can control the algorithm in terms of what our newsfeed displays. And similarly, we can train our audience to take active signals on our content so that it shows up more regularly and tells the algorithm I'm popular and interesting. So I hope that has been some useful tips for you in terms of working the algorithm on Instagram. Thank you for tuning in.